It should be working. I think it should be going everything fine. Let me check. Let me do a little bit of checking. Audio test, audio. Test, hello, audio? Yeah, there it is. This doesn't have any sound, right? Okay, we're fine. Well, let me close this. Meanwhile, hello everybody, hello as always, mod watchers, hello those who decided to work, hello those who are getting ready for some rambling today, hello, every single one of you all. Let me, let the list get going on, things to think. Today we don't have that much of a list, and there isn't also a very heavy topic in that sense, so do not worry about that. That is one part, the things to think about, things to talk about. Before anything else, banana eating. That it is. With that, we are done with almost every other thing that is going to happen. I didn't check my audio, taking into account that I increased the guitar a little bit. Let me see. Wait, there is so much fucking white noise. No, fuck. Well, anyways, I cannot change that, so here we are. Hello. I hope you will. I hope it isn't well. That white noise. That static white noise. But aside from that, oh yeah, I said it on my Discord earlier today. I wanted to stream at the afternoon, and I was kind of fucking out of it due to the heat. And in this case, I do not say fuck as a simple ad word. I really was kind of dehydrated when I woke up from my nap on the afternoon. And the worst part, I had my air conditioner going on, and even with that, I woke up completely. Yeah, the correct way is really to say completely soaked in wet. Nasty event. And also kind of very sad, not depressing, but sad at the very least, because I wanted to take a nap. I didn't go to sleep just to not be awake. I wanted to take a nap and to rest myself. I think I had like, between the mosquitoes and all of that drove me kind of crazy. The last night I might have had at the very best 6 hours of sleep, so I wanted to take a nap to recuperate a little bit more. Instead, I suffered. Anyways, it wasn't that bad, so we're fine with whatever happened in that sense. Well, that was the afternoon gone. As I have said before, because Argentinian traditions, on today, a Sunday, we grouped up the whole family, so it is very refreshing to have that going on. Basically, you can really feel how, you can really feel how everyone really enjoys those events. And in a sense, even if the organization that comes before it happens in the moment is kind of nerve-wracking, so to speak, the rest of things is really nice, and everything works itself out at the end of the day to give in that sense, I think is what happens with almost every family or every family that at the very least is interested in those events happening because the sake of the event, not because the sake of the tradition and because they want to not break their so long record of having those events, but rather because they really want to get together, so to speak. And when that emotion is in place, you really find how much people is really there, basically. How much everybody really enjoys what happens in that sense, and in general, yeah, how everything is so nice. At the end of the day, not only the child, but also the the other people that you see kind of very not sad but grumpy, you know. So when we have the possibility of having those events, it really is a beautiful thing to have. Even if it comes with a cost itself, because you cannot negate the fact that you are spending a lot of money on whatever it is that happens on Sundays, be it here a barbecue, be it a pasta eating day, be it a pizza eating day, whatever it is, because you are inviting a lot of people to eat on one single occasion, you will inevitably have to spend a lot of money. But if you look behind that fact, the happiness that you get from it is incredibly better or more rewarding than what you are really paying for in that sense. Mm, and yeah, personally, there is also the fact that in our case, we have a lot of, or no, we had a lot of stuff to resolve, and in a sense, when somebody starts working on themselves, the whole rest also notices that they might, at the very least, have an interest in doing so. So we have been going, we have been having better relationships within ourselves since, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, like like that. It is very nice to see how it happens, and it is also very nice to see, yeah, in that sense, how we're kind of getting even better than before. Something that if you didn't try to work on yourself, you might have never realized it was possible to happen. At least in the case of our family, something that is so much better than, yeah, I would say better than before, but because you notice how easy it is to really try and change things sometimes instead of just accepting whatever is going on and stay in your comfort place of, yeah, this is kind of bothering but not bothering enough so that I need to take action. Rather, you accept that even if it is a little bit bothering, if you act on it, it might stop being an annoyance, and sometimes not only an annoyance to you but an annoyance to the whole family nucleus, so to speak. So yeah, very nice to see that going on. Mm, well, that was the morning. I appreciate the afternoon. Well, obviously the night, as I said before. Mm, I am trying to not go completely crazy with the mosquitoes. I know that I am losing every single night a little bit of sanity out of fucking mosquito killing moment and different. No, I wish it was only once. Different mosquito killing moments that happen throughout the night, but at the same time, I already accepted that I have to deal with them. So the first times it happened, I really didn't sleep. Nowadays, I can go to bed, gain as much sleep as I can, wake up to kill fucking mosquitoes, and continue sleeping without any problem. The first day that it happened, I wasn't able to go to sleep like let's say I don't completely remember, so let's say I went to sleep like at 1 a.m. I I got waking up at 4 and I had to stay awake like up to 6 a.m. It was fucking horrible. Nowadays, if I don't have anything else to do, I wake up. I kill a mosquito that between, well, not between, varying on the amount of difficulty that that mosquito itself has, so to speak, I might spend only 1 or 2 minutes, or if it is one of the hardest mosquitoes to kill, like those very tiny ones who don't even make fucking noise, I will end up spending like 10 minutes at most. And after that, because I already learned how to not awake myself so much, I can directly go to sleep. So if I decide to stay awake, I can do it. But I already learned how to deal with that. I don't have to really find. Yeah, I don't have to find a solution for that problem nowadays. I already found it, so to speak. And well, I don't know. We can be a little bit meta as always. The the advantage of, in this case, I feel like it is an advantage. I had a little bit of time to wake up, see what is going on, do some Discord server checking just in case, because I already got fucking trolled one time by one of the users, so I need to do some Discord check-ins just in case anybody decided to send some nutty stuff. And after that, I go back to sleep. Or well, I do some Discord, uh, Twitter goings and all of that. After that, I officially go to sleep. But if if I spend too much time, it takes me half an hour. Too much time it is, because commonly I do it in like 5 to 10 minutes, no more than that. I already have organized myself in such a way that I do not spend so much time, like as I said before, the first times that it happened, so I can have a better sleep quality of sleep. The only problem in that sense that I have is that I somehow feel like I have quality sleep, even though I don't really sleep that much amount of time. So it is somehow weird to see that I, yeah, because yesterday or last night, better to say, I ended up having 6 hours of sleep, but the other last night or the night, yeah, the night, the night before this one, I had 5 hours of sleep, and I still felt incredibly good. And yeah, I only need to sometimes take a nap. It isn't even always that I need to take it, but if I take it, I feel like I am completely great. And in one hand, I feel like I am great, but on the other, I preoccupy myself with the idea that I might not be great. At the end of the day, we don't really know how much the body is in pain or not when we end up accustoming to that pain and suffering, so to speak. So I might be lacking some sleep and I don't notice even myself. I personally do not find it in any way a problematic happening, but what I was trying to say is I hope it isn't a problem that I am not seeing before myself, so to speak. Mm, well, yeah, that's it. Basically, related to sleep. I don't think I need to go to see a doctor after all. Mm, combining the amounts of sleep that I have throughout the day, I end up always having 8 at the very least. And when there is no responsibility for me to deal with, I end up those days I kinda have to accept that I have a problem with, because those days when I have nothing else to do, I sleep like 10 hours, 11 hours. Last time I did like 12 fucking hours. It was incredible. But I don't know. Personally, I enjoy sleeping, and I also read that a lot of depressed people goes to sleep because they aren't awake. Basically, in my case, I like to go to sleep not because I do not have to deal with the facts or with the things that go on my life. It is rather that I find it entertaining to be on the dream realm, so to speak. I I never had a problem with dreaming and being not having completely delusional dreams, so to speak. Mm, that one, for example, was like in sleep time. It felt like I had like 6 hours of dreaming. I personally think that if I were to write them down, they would become literal movies, almost every single dream in my case. And it isn't that I limit myself, but rather that I am not interested in doing that. Thus, I I do not do it. And well, also the other side of the coin, it is supposedly a good tool to have lucid dreams, and I have no interest in that. Um, Based on what I have learned from people who does lucid dreaming, you kind of end up a little bit more tired than when you simply dream. So I won't risk my sleep quality just to have the possibility of flying in my dreams. Wow, no, I don't care about that. I have other things to deal with that are more interesting. Or well, the dreams by themselves are interesting. Hmm. Wait, I am eating my banana. Um, it came off with the whole thing at the end. Fuck, stop. Give it to me. I don't want to eat that. It is fucking hard. I already did it once, and it is fucking hard and horrible. And very sour too. Give it to me. Give it to me. There it is. Okay, I can confidently finish my banana now. Mm. Mm. Incredible. Every fucking banana is the best banana. This is so lovely. And also, well, I don't know. I'm still trying to process what was that, so to speak. Moment that we had with the tarot cards on the Arena stream. So I don't know if I'm really feeling like talking about it. It feels like a real ego trip in a sense. If if I try to place my mind on what was said, it really felt like a fucking ego trip. But anyways, it was great. Anyways, even if I have to process stuff from there, it is incredible. Seeing that, at the very least, from the most simple way to say it, from an external perspective, everything seems to be going to go even better than what is going right now. It feels great in that sense. Water. I love my fucking water. What? Good night, Marley. What time is it? Isn't it like like 4 a.m., 5 a.m.? What the fuck is it? Okay, okay. Good night. Thank you for coming. have a great sleep. Yes, yes. What are you doing? You know what you're doing. I won't critique you. You already know what you're doing with your sleep schedule. So have a great night. Have a great night. Quality sleep. Yeah. Don't worry. And yeah, have a good sleep, you too. Thank you. Well, now that we have done with that, let me go and throw the goddamn banana peel to the garbage bin. Let me here, verify dock, transition, and well, it will be a minute, in a second. Beep 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 beep. Let me fuck my glass. My glasses got some sweat. Don't worry. It is fine. I'm sorry. I'm not angry. I'm fine. I cannot in any way, shape, or form change how hot it is, so I don't gain anything from getting angry about it. Anyways, let me clean my glasses and go back to what I was saying. Or well, I thank God I finished what I was really trying to say. We have to deal with the list right now. If I'm not wrong, let me check. Let me do a little bit of checking. Oh yeah, obviously my PC is going to work double as hard because I have Discord open. Sorry. Let me close it so that we don't have that much PC fan noises going on. Also, please, I'll raise the list. Yeah, save. So there it is. Now you only have to deal with the list of things to talk about today. Oh yeah, man. Before while I do the timestamp, I really have been thinking a lot about the fucking today Fuwagogo clip. It is incredible. Or more specifically, the animation that there is about that. What a funny event. There it is. Stuff. This over here. Let me go up to OS just in case it gets laggy or it shuts down somehow out of complete nowhere, as it had already happened. Well, yeah, you only need to know one more thing. So before doing that, let me drink my water. Water, yeah. Take this. Oh. Let me grab the mic. Let me get a little bit more personal. And now we're ready. Yeah, I have been thinking a lot. The only problem that I really have been having was finding what to think. So I kind of, yeah, put into words these specific ideas today about things to think about. Almost like, I don't know, 5 minutes before streaming or something like that. Things to talk about I have a lot, but things to think I think I am having a problem on realizing what I really need to think about in that sense. So we will see. But anyways, going back to the things to think about, as always, then a reminder, things to think about. Sorry for the confusion. Things to think about is a little bit of a list that I have about things that the potato itself has to think about. So do not expect to really hear anything kind of mind-shattering in that sense. Well, now that I say mind-shattering, that mind-shattering things is a topic that I had for the future. Kind of saved for probably tomorrow. We will see how it goes. We'll see if I can have a quality sleep tonight. Anyways, things to think about. First thing, why we lie to ourselves so often was the thing that I put into the list, which I also had already forgotten. That was it. Damn, son, what a fucking heavy thing to think about. Anyways, I was not completely confused about it, but wondering why is it that the average person tends so much to not. I wouldn't say to speak the truth, but rather to. Also, gaslight isn't the correct word in this case. Gaslighting is more of a meme expression in reality, or at least that is how I feel about it. So I wouldn't use that in this case. I was thinking about the act that a lot of people tends to really in their daily life, go through events and go through the experiences, kind of not really putting into words and putting into into a real sensical way whatever it is they are trying to say and whatever it is they are trying to tell to themselves a lot of times. Why? Because that is the part of the question that I really didn't understand the why. I find it that it might be because it is kind of hard to deal sometimes with the realities that we have in front of us. Even more, I think it is we don't, it is because we don't really have at hand the proper tools to deal with whatever it is we need to really understand in that sense. So it ends up becoming, in some way, a thing that somehow guides us, so to speak, about, a way that we have to deal with those, or no, no way to deal with those things, no tool that we have to deal with our problems, because it is a kind of anti-tool. You aren't dealing with your problems. You're only letting them stay in not even unconscious realm. You are, in this case, you are neglecting your problems and you are only making them bigger because you do not face those things that you really need to take care of. For example, a personal thing that happens to the potato, we will say, is I know that I will end up having a payday sometime. So I also know that I will have to spend my payday in getting some better, quality in general, setup stuff in general, whatever it is. Be it a microphone, be it a new keyboard, be it a new mouse, be it whatever. And if I do not accept that I need to deal with that, I will keep as I have been doing so far, not even facing the reality that I might need to start checking already what is it that I am going to buy. Because, for example, buying a good quality microphone isn't that easy. Sometimes, or personally, I already know that I had the grace to see a lot of information about who manipulated the market on gaming stuff. So if I were to be so dumb was to go and directly buy gaming microphone. Wow, I would literally gain nothing. I would probably end up losing more money that way than if I were to really deal with the problem of spending some time checking what is a real good microphone for a good price and things like that. If in reality I were to simply go try to spend, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes daily until I have my paycheck, and in the meanwhile have already started stacking information about such a topic, I wouldn't have to deal with it in such a chaotic manner, or I wouldn't have to worry so much in the actual moment, because I was dealing with the problem when it was already solvable, so to speak. And in that case, I would say we prefer to lie to ourselves in those moments because we do not like to deal with the not easy but rather existing answers that there are to whatever it is we have to deal with. Instead, we prefer to simply go kind of face the problem ahead and yeah. In Spanish, the expression is hit our head against the wall until we can deal with it properly. I will say it is kind of the same here, as in we prefer, instead of slowly but surely being able to manage that problem before it becomes even bigger, directly dealing with the big problem. Yeah, I will say even that it is kind of a confidence problem in that sense, or an overconfidence thing that we have in ourselves, that we lie or we think that we will be somehow capable of dealing with anything that is put in front of us. So we end up not only failing at realizing what things we have to change, but yeah, also we end up spending a lot of time at the same time dealing with problems that were solvable on an easier way through the long run, instead of really dealing with those things that we have a possibility of dealing. Yeah, that's it. I think I wouldn't, at least for now, trying to not divert the whole stream into that, because it really is an interesting branch of ideas to develop, I will say. Because in that case, I even kind of found a way to solve the possible problem that I was going to have with finding good equipment for when I have to buy it. So yeah, very interesting to see that. And well, let me now do the timestamp. I will say just in case 37, just in case. And yeah, I have already said it, so when I am creating the timestamp, I will remind myself I need to make better timestamps. So yeah, there is no real meaning in making them shorter just so I can somehow understand or put them more in a more orderly manner if at the end of the day I'm not going to understand what I was trying to say. So yeah, back to the list. Think number 2. How much is it that we really do not understand things? Yeah, I try to put in this case a little bit of a previous, so to speak, explanation about where this idea came from. I try to put things that will have connected, but I kind of underestimated how much I was going to ramble and to divert from the real original idea in this case. So we'll have to work completely out of a new idea. So yeah, topic: how much is it that we really do not understand things and the reality? I was thinking about it because personally have been facing a lot of philosophy nowadays in the last, I think, 2 weeks, personally, if I'm not wrong, that has been talking a lot about the idea that we somehow are not capable of almost understanding anything. But personally, I do not find it to be that way. In reality, is it that we decide to not understand things a lot of the time? In reality, it is that somehow we think it is better to not work in the things that are in front of us and the things that we really need to deal with. And I wouldn't really even have a reason as to why we decided to do it. A lot of times it is more like, oh yeah, you know what? I have already a complete notion about this concept. So yeah, I would say it is kind of a bigotry moment that we have, or kind of different bigotry moments that we have throughout the daily life, because it doesn't happen in one moment, or sorry, one or two exclusive moments throughout our day. It is something that we deal with a lot. There are a lot of moments where we say, what the fuck are you saying to me? I completely understand this idea. I do not need more explanation. Shut up. So we really think as if we really were completely unknowledgeable about different topics. I wouldn't say any topics, because at the end of the day, even if we tried to be uh, a, a complete knower about every single thing, it is impossible to know every single thing. So there are still concepts that are beyond our comprehension in that sense, or beyond our basic grasp at the very least. So yes, it isn't that it happens with everything, but at least it happens one or two. Yeah, at the very least, one or two times throughout the day that we say, yeah, you know what? Whatever it is you're telling me, I already know it. You won't bring to me any new point of view, any new condition, any new anything. In, yeah, the idea that came to my mind was, and I think it comes from the concept that we prefer to not deal with the possibility of us being wrong. Instead, we like to go and try to fight off possible different explanations about things. For example, if yeah, if you were to think that depression is something that is completely irrational in the sense that humans have it because they want attention, if you think that it is the reality, that only possible way of seeing it, you are neglecting the whole other possible realities of sometimes people is completely depressed because they didn't even have the tools to deal with their lives. They didn't have the people to give them the tools or even give them the courage to try and deal with whatever it is they have in front of them. And you need to understand that those points, those different parts of the coin, so to speak, of the rise of depression, in that sense, you cannot think that depression can only come because we want attention. No, there are a lot of moments when someone might even do the complete opposite, might not even want attention from others because they are so depressed, might not even want to hear anybody else, or try to even have that, from their point of view, that false sense of hope because somebody's telling them random things that through their biased view of the world is only trying to change them for the worst. So if you do not accept that depression doesn't only come from a point of view or from a desire to get attention, you might never be really able to help anybody who isn't like that. Because yes, there is a very tiny minority who is really like that, who only, in a sense, almost fakes depression. But when it might not even represent a 5% of the people who really has depression, You might not even take it as an existing percentage in that sense. So I don't know. I would say it is yeah. We tend to not think about things or to try and understand them in a deeper way because we do not have to we do not want to deal with the fact that we might be wrong about things. That is what I think in that sense. And saying that, I don't think I have anything else to say. That is a good conclusion about it. I don't. No, yeah, nothing else to add. It really is as plain as that. If you really think that you understand something completely, and you close yourself to the possibility of understanding things even more, you don't want to deal with the fact that you might be wrong. That's it. Good luck with your life, dear. Work. There it is. Now, well, we have the things to talk about. Before doing so, before moving to the next thing, sorry, but let me take a little bit of water. I am dying here. I am fucking dying from yes, I am dying from dehydration. I'm sorry, but I need water. The next. Oh, sorry. Wait, what? Internet, okay. What the fuck? Internet. Wi-Fi kun gambari. Please, internet fucking work. Can you work? There it is. Are we okay, internet? Are we functioning? Yes, it is. It is shifting between yellow and green, but it isn't dying light. It didn't. Just some. It work. What the fuck is your problem? Okay, I don't know. Go fuck yourself, internet. Anyways, I wanted to say. Sorry. Next topic. Things to talk about. Learning things is a good way. Oh yeah. Yeah, wow, a sentence. That is a sentence. That is a completely understandable sentence, you know? Something that anybody can read and say, oh yeah, this means something. Yeah, internet is dying, so I don't know. At least it didn't crash the stream, so let's pray for the best to happen. But wait, hello, Aseria. I didn't notice that you didn't chat before. Anyways, next. I was thinking. Little bit of context. We haven't really dealt with the idea that there might be correct ways to deal with things, so to speak, or correct ways to live life. Mostly because I am mostly trying to stay away from the concept of giving really heavy points of view on anything. Mostly because I do not want to be kind of cancelled, you know. So I'm sorry if anything is too harsh for anybody. Well, thank you for lurking. Don't worry. There is no. If you do not feel like chatting, there is no need to chat. As long as you are gaining anything by hearing this, thank you. And also thank you for the view. But yeah, that is the preamble, or the preamble of the preamble, because in this case I was thinking it is very interesting to see that we have a lot of ways, in a sense, to go through life, and one of the easiest one, so to speak, and this one is really connected to what I was saying before. If you were to really notice that you have things to change in yourself, in the ways that you have to conduct whatever it is you are trying to do, and in general, in the manners that you have as a person, you might find somehow that the process of learning becomes or gives you a lot of easiness. It, yeah, it is important to remark it isn't easy. Learning isn't easy in any way. If you think that learning is something easy, you would lie. Why? It is one of the most, not boring, but rather hard to really pull off correctly things. I, yeah, in that sense, it is horrible to say it because, in a sense, we have always been told that everybody has a certain thing that they are capable of learning, but if you're really trying to learn about, as I said before, every different thing that appears in your life, you will learn that nobody has the capability of really learning about everything. You might learn ways to obtain knowledge, so to speak. Yes, it is a possibility, but it doesn't make the work itself easier. It doesn't make the experience something more productive or more enjoyable in the sense of, yeah, making it lighter to go through. At the very least, you will, yeah, the point is, you will, if you keep working on learning things and learning and adapting and rewiring, so to speak, older ideas, older concepts, you will find that throughout life you will have it a lot easier. If you were to face, so to speak, whatever is in front of you from a single-sided perspective, we could say, I think, is a great way to put it. If you were to face things from a single-sided perspective instead of, as we have talked before, if you were to face things from only one point of view instead of understanding that almost on any single thing there are a lot of different ways to see the problem and to face the problem, you will really have a hard time in general. Nothing becomes easier if you do not develop more tools to deal with the same problem. It only becomes, at the very best, faster to deal with. But even if you think your one and only tool is better than any other, as long as you don't try, you might not even understand how is it that other tools might help you. Because a good example is, for example, if you're trying to work on your own physical aspects, so to speak, you are trying to lose weight. If you do not understand that not doing anything is worse than literally even taking a walk, you might think that you are somehow correct in simply lowering the amount of food that you are consuming, right? Until that point, I think everyone understands that. But if you were to add to that dynamics, so to speak, the possibility of the ideas of, if you were even to move 5 minutes compared to literally almost going from your chair to your bed to the chair of the on the table, on the dining table, to once again your chair from your working office, if you were to do those tiny minuscule changes, the outcome will be so much better. But if you if you don't really accept that it is something completely we can say it in this way. We have to accept that sometimes we are wrong with whatever it is we are trying to do. And in the act of accepting that we are wrong, we also grow, we learn things, and we change how we can go through life, so to speak. But the hardest part of the whole process is to accept that maybe you are wrong. And the, the most correct way could be to say, you know what, I might have a little bit of nervousness. I might lose a little bit of my patience trying to learn anything. But if the outcome will at the very least, give me an, a deeper way to understand how my actual tool works, because let's say, going back to the example of losing weight, if you already are working 3 hours a day trying to lose weight, you already know that it is working. But if you were to learn from people who doesn't really work out that much, to hear that their point of view is, okay, you know what, by doing literally 2 minutes a day of walking, I lost in a year 10 pounds. Wow, yeah, my brother. It is almost impossible to know that lose 10 pounds. But, or goal in this case probably isn't only 10 pounds, you know? So, you, at the very least, you will know that the weight that you have or the tool that you have at your hand is better, because you are contrasting your actual and already existing tool with those that, in a sense, it aren't worst, are simply different. That's the idea. I think we will say it like that. Now, water. I need water. Well, yeah, no, well, just in case I didn't say it somehow, because you change how your tools interfere or affect your life, the simple act of learning is in itself a good way, because it eases your life, basically. That, nothing else to add. Now, as I really wanted to do, timestamp. 50, 45. Well, there it is. Sorry, there it is. Yes, thank you for the microphone. Next topic. When the worries get too big. Yeah. Anxiousness, depression. Yeah. Dark mind. Yes. Yes, the preamble to this topic will be basically something like, we have a lot of times worries and problems that we prefer to not really deal with, and in this case, this specific one really connects to the way we lie to ourselves so often. Sometimes, well, yeah, that is the preamble. Now, onto the topic itself. Sometimes we tend, from the past point of view, we tend to let problems grow to a certain extent that they might become incredibly worrying. Or in this case, we let worries that could have been solved in an easier way become so big that when they are in front of us, let's say it this way, in the form of a dragon, instead of having dealt with them when they were only a simple egg, if we really decide that is the correct shape that we are going to let things take, we find a lot of times that we aren't really doing ourselves a favor in any shape, in any kind of manner. We are only having more struggles, we are only adding more weight to our own experience, so to speak, and we are only really dealing with the things that numb our mind in the moment that they are already dealt a lot of damage. That is the part of the past. But the present is, we always have the possibility of dealing with anything that is in front of us and haven't already killed us. That is the most important thing to have into consideration whenever we are dealing with anything. Whatever it is, however we feel about it, we need to really understand the fact that no matter how dead inside ourselves we feel, how completely overwhelmed we really feel, as long as we are and we have in ourselves the possibility of moving forward, of at the very least not moving forward, let's say you already think that you don't have the possibility of moving forward, so let's word it this way. If you think that somehow you will exist for another day, you might as well have an existing possibility of dealing with your problems. We won't give it a number. Why? That isn't our actual worry. We only need to know that we have the possibility of dealing with whatever it is. And whatever it is we have in front of us is solvable. The next problem that or the next worry that we should have is learn how to properly deal with it. One of the most incredible things and one of the most appreciable gifts, so to speak, that we have at hand right now is knowing or having access to knowledge that almost nobody never had before. We have so many chances of changing how we see things. We have so many chances of going to directly those who are in the higher status of knowledge about certain problems, certain topics, certain difficulties, certain whatever it is, that we might as well have an almost guaranteed possibility of dealing with it. And let me in this case be clear about this. Because we have a guaranteed possibility of dealing with anything, it doesn't mean that whatever problem you have will be dealt with by itself. You always need to work on whatever you have to face. Unless you somehow are a minor and you came to this channel somehow, only minors have the possibility of having their problems solved by other people. If you are already someone who has independence, you need to deal with your problems. The only possible way that it can change is if you have someone who, let's say, at your side, be it a friend, be it a brother, be it someone who you are in a relationship with. Only those people might give you a tool, but in these cases you are already someone who has independence over their actions, and you cannot really get your problems solved by anyone when you are the one who needs to deal with them. You might dilute yourself with the idea that somehow a white knight will come to solve whatever it is that you need to get solved. A perfect bride will appear in front of you and give you whatever it is you are needing. Life is in some ways a fantasy, is what we can say, what we can establish, but not to that extent. You cannot expect anything to be solved by itself. Problems, if left alone, as you have already seen in this moment, and by your own experience, we don't really need to say only what I have already established. By your own experience, problems that you do not deal with only become bigger. They never change. At the very least, they might not take so much of a worse fate, but they do not become tinier. So, with that established, we know that we need to take action, but so to speak too, we need to face the problems, and I don't think I can add anything in this case, because it is more of a general advice. If you do not deal with whatever it is you have to deal, you might never get that real help that you really desire, so to say. But we have presented the past, the present, and in this case, let me also give to you the future. If you are hearing this, we can say that it means you are interested in finding maybe how to not have so many dragons in your future. You instead only want to have eggs. And in a kind of funny way, we already have a lot of eggs lying in front of us. The problem is that we tend to dismiss those eggs, so to speak. We tend to dismiss those tiny problems because you kind of already know that you can, with a single sweep of your hand, deal with them. You can, with 5 minutes of your own life, make them disappear from in front of you. You can somehow make them be so easily solvable that you don't even take the time in doing so. But the way to go from now on is to not let yourself be kind of, the correct termination could be to not dilute yourself and to not lie to yourself in that sense about, you know what, I can deal with this whenever I have to deal with it in the future. I might as well enjoy my peace right now. No. If you decide, as we have already established, to let problems exist, they will become only bigger. At the very least, they won't change, but everything tends by itself to go worse, so to speak. So, the thing that you need to do is to simply take action. It is horrible to hear because sometimes we really enjoy the time that we have to ourselves, and sometimes it is true that we might not have that much time for ourselves and only for ourselves, but it is better always to not risk our future existence for the sake of our actual pressure than to just dismiss our future self and simply lose the possibility of really enjoying whatever future comes from us or for us. That's it. And yes, hello Winko. Yes, I ate my banana. Why banan? I don't know, banana. Yes, I ate it. Let me do a tiny timestamp. I ate it like a half an hour ago, I think. Yeah, almost. No, more than a half an hour ago. 40 minutes ago. This is incredible. I am such a great banana eater. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to pull the mic. Sorry. Timestamp will be 106:13. Let's do a little bit of clickbait. What you should. Well, like that. Oh yeah, we have. I didn't place the possible most heavy rambling topic in this case, but in a sense it is a fucking heavy topic. Anyways, Ginkgo, do you have anything else to say? Everything fine? If not, thank you for coming. I will continue with my daily lectures. Oh yeah, great luck, Popin. Do not forget to send your message also to the Lempacord. Well, things to talk about. Last topic, believing and its importance. Oh man, this is, well, at a possible warning. Obviously, it is the heaviest topic of the night. The preamble of this topic is sometimes, well, yeah, I will say it like this. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about how it is important to believe in whatever it is you're doing, and also the idea that you need to, what was it, to manifest, no, to visualize your achievements and to visualize your whole things like happening and going correctly the way that you want and all of that. And I think I could say it in a way. That's why in this case I said believing and not visualizing or actively imagining your future or any kind of other random, what is it, description that they give to this idea. Believing and the importance of believing. That is how we are going to take this topic on this time. Let me grab the mic a little bit better. Yes. Mic. Fucking explode, mic. Sorry. Going back to the idea. In this case, well, that just in case that is the preamble. Now, really on the idea itself. Through life, we have a lot of things that we might take our time and we could try to deal with. Sometimes we don't even know if it is something good, something bad, something really easy to achieve, hard to achieve. But in general, the most important topic, and if you expect to hear anything different from what I am going to say, you might as well quit after the first description that I am going to give now. We only need to really believe on whatever it is we are doing. We only really need to have. I don't want to really use faith in the sense that it might be referring to a higher order, but in this case it is the most correct word to use. We need to have faith in whatever it is, whatever endeavor, whatever work, whatever goal we're trying to achieve. Because if you do not believe in whatever you are trying to do, you will only let your destructive ideas get the best from you in that sense. And how does that work? We could ask ourselves. Let me put it this way. If you were to really accept the idea that whether you believe or not on whatever it is you are doing, negative points of view, people telling you not to keep going, your own mind sometimes working and trying to discourage whatever it is you are trying to really succeed in, if you let that happen, you will let yourself, or you will be a lot more easily influenceable to let your endeavors end, to let your hardships, let your work, let your passion, let whatever it is you feel inside you, that on the first moment that idea was born, tell you, yeah, it is something that we are going to spend our time doing, die. And in this case, we could even go back to what. Yeah, I didn't want to say it that way, but we could even go back to what Bukowski was saying, what we already saw. Bukowski had a philosophy of, yeah, if this doesn't excrete from your pores, if you do not feel like you are going to die, if you do not do it, if you do not feel passion every single day to wake up and to get up from your bed, if you do not feel so motivated and so developed and so really passionate about whatever it is you're trying to achieve, that if you do not work on it, you're going to die, you don't really need to feel like that. As long as you have a tiny flame, as long as you find in yourself a minuscule possibility of desire on going towards whatever it is you have in front of you, you will, I do not want to say succeed, you will at the very least find that your process will be easier. We cannot also guarantee to ourselves success. We cannot think that we are going to success on every single thing we do. There are always going to be failures through life. The most correct way to see it could be, for example, if whatever you are going to do could be doable more than one time. If whatever it is you are doing has more than one possible opportunity to try, so to speak, you could say in those cases, yes, you are inevitably going to succeed. But if, for example, you were to risk your life on doing things that might really be only replicable once, so to speak, you might not. Those possibilities are really not in your favor. I will. I don't want to discourage anything, but you might not even have that much real possibilities of achieving anything if whatever you are trying to achieve, I would even say, if whatever you are trying to achieve needs to be tackled on the first try, you might even need to change whatever it is you are trying to do. Because I had been thinking while I was saying that, and even the hardest of the trials that we find in life, for example, on the academic sense, becoming an astronaut, so to speak, a NASA astronaut can be is an exam, is a test, is a physical aptitude and mental fortitude test that can be taken how much 5 times in a row or something like that before you are really dismissed. So it shows that even something that has such a barrier of entry is tryable more than once. In that sense, for example, that is one of the biggest examples that came to my mind. The other one is, and it is needed for this to be really understood. If you even were to have fucking cancer, even cancer itself has more than one possibility of being dealt with. There are more than one treatment nowadays existing. It is no cancer will really be completely impossible to deal with. And if, yeah, we could even say this, if the people around you is telling you that whatever endeavor you are trying to go in has only one shot, one opportunity, those people might not be your best influence, you know? Everything that is logical and possible to achieve really has more than one possibility of succeeding. Yes, you only, going back, you only need to believe in yourself. You need to be constant. You need to be putting the time that you have into achieving those desires that you find, into really gripping hard, so hard that you feel your hand is going to break, if we want to go with that analogy. So you need to feel so much, and you need to deal so much and have so much desire of achieving whatever it is, that no matter what will happen, you will keep going. And it is completely understandable if you do not feel right now that is the only way, that is the correct way. But in the future, you will find it to be true. We could say, if whatever I have said right now resonated with your mind, we could as well as say it is true. Yeah. I try to give the hardest topic, and yeah, and it is kind of weird. I gave the hardest topic somehow in a short manner, so nothing else to add right now. Yeah, well, I don't know. Well, let me give the timestamp meanwhile. It feels weird. I personally, I don't think I developed more capacities of conveying my ideas in a more orderly manner, so I wouldn't say it is like that. That somehow I conveyed the hardest topic in an easier way than before. I might have left behind a lot of things to say. But anyways, we did it at the very least, so we're fine with that. At the very least, we are completely fine with that. Well, yeah, if, as always, no question, no, nothing for the potato to answer, no nothing, shall I end it here? We're fine with that, nothing, well, yeah, I will give some seconds just in case, and if nothing arises, I will start looking for somebody to raid, somebody to leave my tiny spots with, and well, thanks every single person for staying, those who decided to watch the VOD later on, those who find on themselves the desire to watch the VOD, thanks every single person, also those who, as always, who came and didn't have the possibility of staying, thanks. I can only give thanks from the deepest part of myself. Yeah, happiness. Yeah, I will even say it feels weird to have so much happiness. I don't really understand that. I yeah, I haven't seen a lot of people saying, no, you know what, it is impossible to be so happy the whole time. What the fuck are you saying, my brother? I might be doing something wrong, I don't know. I am happy, what the fuck do you want me to tell you? I am so happy. I'm going to explode. No, no, not like that. Sorry. Well, I found somebody to raid, so let me check if this person isn't going to end stream right now. I didn't really find somebody to raid. Let me check. Let me do a tiny check. Let me do. This person isn't going to end stream right now, right? Let me please wait. Be patient. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Raid. What? That's it, basically. No, you know what? Go fuck yourself for leaving. I cannot really anybody know that I have only one viewer. Thank you, whoever it was. I got so fucking backstabbed by my own audience. This is so sad. This is the worst fucking cheat.